Chelsea 3, Barça 0, and it was an absolute massacre. Could have been more, in fact, as Hansi Flick's team didn't show up in the Stamford Bridge in the Champions League phase. We're going to get into it a little bit late, but hey, fashionably late. That's what you get on D-Spot. Better late than never. Let's get into it, folks. And so it ended with un baño. An absolute massacre. Like I said, an abomination. The kind that I haven't seen in a very long time. I've seen my Barça get dominated. Sure. The Clásico in the Santiago Bernabéu was an embarrassment of some sorts. We managed to come out saving our face. Not really. But at least our faces were not dragged through the mud as badly as they were, not last night, 2 nights ago now. It is Thursday. On Tuesday in London as the Blues, the Chelsea, up the Chelsea. I'm wearing blue today. They got it over us, man. And I don't like Chelsea. I've been on here multiple times saying, you know what, for me, the most hated teams, the Whites. QSG has leapfrogged Chelsea for the second spot, but they make an honorable third place. Yes, they get the bronze when it comes to teams that I despise the most. So this was one, mind you, I lived 7 years in London, and a lot of that hatred stems from my time there. It's all good stuff. It's all fun and games, isn't it? But there's a history there, and you could tell that the boys in blue were hungry, a lot more so than the boys in Blaugrana, to get one over us and to pick up a win in emphatic fashion. Fashion? Fat shit. It was fat shit. In emphatic fashion, they did so. They managed to do so by, well, clubbering us over the head time and time again. All of their players looked miles, light years ahead from ours when it came to fitness, when it came to IQ, intelligence, intensity, hunger. I don't think this is the real difference between the two squads. Yes, we had Pedri missing. They had Palmer missing. Cole Palmer. What would it be like if Cole Palmer would have been there? Is what I heard the Chelsea supporters continue to say. They cooking it. We're cooking them. We cooked them, mate. We fucking cooked them. They did. Enjoy your day in the sun. Like I told a Chelsea quote-unquote friend, I hope to see you guys again later on in the tournament. I have faith in what Hansi Flick said when he mentioned in the post-game press conference that better days are ahead. We will see a better version of Barça, but we still have a lot of work to do. My God, let's unravel a little bit. So, mind you, the reason I am late is because I actually had a podcast planned with one of the more renowned voices of the Chelsea community. The Chelsea! But he didn't show up. Unfortunate, very highly unfortunate, because I think this person would add a lot of the perspective that the Chelsea fans have, but just it would have given a nice little balance, a nice little back and forth. So what are you gonna do? What can I say? I think everything has been said. I think all of the frustrations have already been aimed and directed at the usual suspect. Do I still have patience with Ronald Araujo? Did the red card change the outcome of the game? I think, quite frankly, obviously it had an impact, but I think the outcome would have been a loss regardless. Ferran Torres should carry a large part of the burden in the Champions League in these types of games. Luckily, it's not a knockout phase, but let it be a hugely stern warning if we make it to the knockout phase, which obviously mathematically we still can, and given the quality of our team and the permissiveness of this structure of the European tournament, the top European tournament, I would like to think that we will still make it to the knockout phase. But let this be a warning that you cannot miss those chances, those wide open chances on goal. What happened in that situation, I want El Tiburón to answer for it, because it's inexcusable, quite frankly, of a player of that quality to play at that level, to be in a starting lineup as well, while a Marcus Rashford, or Marcus Rashford as I like to call him, sits on the bench, a player that is used to Premier League dynamics, knows the opponent inside out. Hansi also would need to reflect on that decision, I would think, knowing that he's going to live and die by the high line. And after the game, we heard the arrogant responses, quite frankly, from the Chelsea players as well, and the fans and the press, which is expected. But they almost took this game as a W before kickoff, right? They went into the game knowing that we were going to play the way we were. Our style is predefined and will continue to be so while the German manager is in charge. Mind you, I don't mind that. What I question at this point is, Hansi, are you aware that the players that you have on your team are not up to the standard to execute the style of play, the football that you demand from them, that requires for your system to be as successful as it was at Bayern or as it was last season, despite the flaws? Got my little puppy here. What do you say?
Is it kitty cat? Go get that kitty. Go get that kitty. There's a kitty cat on the terrace.
There's got to be a point of inflection to say, if we want to advance deep into this tournament, to the latter stages, and compete for the ultimate prize, I've got to make some adjustments. Hansi said in a post-game press conference that he adapts his preparations and his system according to each opponent. I wonder whether that is true. I'm not ashamed to admit that I most likely lack the footballing knowledge to identify that. I'll leave that to the football philosophers, the couch coaches, to have their own opinions on that. I, with my dumb naked eye, cannot spot the difference. We come out pretty much every single game determined to impose our style of play, as Barça always does, quite frankly. That is under Pep Guardiola, under Johan Cruyff, under Luis Enrique, under the most successful coaches that really, truly adopt and embrace
Football total, right? Neeskens, Rinus Michels'
interpretation of football.
Hold on, let me open the goddamn door.
Right, it is a case of this is how we're going to be playing, and we are confident enough that we will dominate the opponent. We're confident enough that we're going to dominate the opposition by, at the very least, score one more goal. We're going to concede, but we're going to score more goals. Well, other than Ferran Torres' chance, we were never, ever close. Fermín López had a chance or two. Should he have gotten a penalty? I think were the team in blue and red be wearing a white shirt, we would have gotten a penalty. But we've also seen those not called. So it really varies on the team whether the referee will call a penalty in those kind of situations. I didn't feel too hard done by not being called. I would feel quite annoyed if it were called against me. I would feel like that would be a dispute of the ball where, even though the defender, I forget who it was, didn't touch the ball. Was it Caicedo? I don't know. It was, sure, it could have gotten called, but you also not see it called, right? It wasn't a flagrant penalty, put it that way. Lamine, the first 15 minutes, I thought were positive. Everyone now is raving, Estevao. Magnifico. What a player, what a talent, what a fantastic footballer that is now at the cusp of launching his career, hopefully long-lasting. Unfortunately, with Chelsea, could have been a Barça player, would have been a Barça player, wanted to be a Barça player, but thanks to Bartomeu and company and his legacy, we are unable to acquire or make a serious run at acquiring these types of players, given the purchasing powers of the sheikh-owned, of the oligarch-owned, of the state-owned clubs that are just simply more powerful when it comes to having this infinite money glitch that, given the cash-strapped situation and financial gymnastics that we continue to have to do due to these strict regulations, we just cannot. We have to be realistic, right? We're not in a running for these kind of players. Sure, should that money have spent, should the money that we spent on Victor Roque instead been spent on Estevao? Yes. However, Estevao also competes with Lamine Yamal for the same position. Although I believe was it Palmeiras he came from? In Brazil he played also a little bit more deeper in the midfield. Clearly, he's a player that shines on the wing. That's his natural position, I would say, from the very little sample size that I have seen from the youngster. So we have Lamine Yamal there, right? I don't think Estevao right now would have maybe enjoyed having the protagonism that he will be getting in Chelsea with Barça. But, you know, who am I to judge him? What do I know? I know absolutely jack shit. So, I don't want to make this too long-winded, guys. I'm going to be on churros later today. I wanted to record something, put it out there for y'all to just kind of chew on, digest, take in. Everything has been said. KOUNDÉ, with an unfortunate own goal, allowed Chelsea to take the lead. And it was really, I mean, that kind of personified how the rest of the evening was going to go. Where, yes, Ferran Torres was on the poster of big muck-ups. And, of course, Ronald Araujo, the usual suspect. Highly unfortunate. And it's a shame because El Uruguayo, I think, had everything in him to become a world-class defender. I don't think that he is not as fast, not as talented, not as physical as the English defenders, let's say. But on the night, it looked boys against men. And I say Ronald Araujo, obviously, because he committed, as captain, one of the gravest mistakes, and that was leaving his team alone. He went to talk to the referee, picked up a very soft yellow card, something that was, again, we should hold the referee accountable. All he did was talk. I think there was a little accidental shove maybe, and that was caused the initial red, yellow card, because he kind of approached the situation and they bumped into each other. The referee took that as an offense. But then that second yellow card, ¿qué es lo que te pasa por la cabeza, Araujo? Like, what is going through your head, my man? What was going through his head? Absolutely reckless challenge, taking out Cucurella, el bueno de Cucu, in ruthless fashion. And it's the kind of tackle that you commit knowing that you're going to pick up a yellow card. It's a desperate tackle. It's a Hail Mary. It's I'm going to end this offensive attack by any means, knowing that, again, you're going to be sanctioned with a warning. But if you already have a yellow card in the tank, buddy, you got one in the backpack already. How could you make such a mistake? It's unfortunate. I want to support him so bad. He's a likable guy. And I say that from my time at Barça, where I got a chance to meet him the one time that he came to studios. Very likable, very friendly family man, humble. And I just hate to see him be on the receiving end of the memes, the insults, sobre todo, above all, and the criticism. But there is no escaping it, and there is no denying it. Araujo, you've cost us dearly on more than one occasion in big, big games. But he's not the only one, because so far this season, Sevilla, Real Madrid, now Chelsea, QSG, we've failed 4 big tests, not to say massive ones, in the case of the Clásico and the Champions League games against the QSG and the Chelseas. And we failed. So we have to be honest with ourselves and say that this team right now is lacking in concentration. It's lacking in commitment. It's lacking in intensity. The intensity is probably the key word. It was so palpable. It was so noticeable that the Chelsea boys were just on another level. And thank God that we have O Capitao back, Raphinha, because immediately, instantly, you saw his influence, and the guy was running like a man possessed, trying to contagiar esa energía, right? Trying to, ¿cómo se dice contagiar? Like, it's contagious, trying to make sure that his energy was contagious to his teammates. Trying to infect his teammates with his energy. And it was just impossible. Cucu canceled out Lamine. They're hailing him as the best left back in the world right now. It's hard to argue otherwise, seeing how he performed against the second best football player in the world, according to the Balón de Oro rankings. And there's just no excuse, right? We got to take this L, a big fat one, on our foreheads and roll with the punches, but also be determined that we need to improve and that we can improve. So that's it, really. That is it. Make sure that you join us. Make sure that you join us later this afternoon for the churros. All right, that'll be happening, of course, on patreon.com/churros y tácticas for the patrons only. A community that continues to grow, just like D-Spot as well. Thank you all for the growth, for the support, for supporting independent content, because it means the world to me. This is my livelihood, my job. I can't seem to get a job anywhere else anymore. Barça certainly has forgotten about your boy. So, let the blacklisters, let's put them to shame, and make sure that this little channel here, humble, always continue to be humble, but from the humble beginnings that we continue to be in now, let's make sure that it grows to reach the worldwide community of Barça supporters that need their regular fix of Barça content, Barça news, interviews, out and about. Like I said, there's so much more in store. So hit that bell notification, hit the like as well, so that the algorithm also knows that this good old content is appreciated by all of you, okay? Patreon.com/churros y tácticas is where I'm going to be recording more with my man Kian Sobani. The Whites picked up, a victory last night, but other than Mbappe and a Vinny that looked quite decent as well, I have to say, in the end had to ask the referee to blow the whistle. Should it have been a draw? Should Olympiacos have been awarded a penalty? I'm going to guess that Kian is going to say no. I guess it was a similar dispute as the one with Fermín López, where, it was a shove in the box, and it wasn't blown against Real Madrid's way. Anyway, that is it. That is it for me. We got a little 20-minute thing. I'll chop it up in a little bit and then make sure to get this out there. So y'alls, hit the like, hit the subscribe, the bell, and follow us on Churros y Tácticas on patreon.com/Churros y Tácticas. We'll see ya. Peace out. Stay positive, culés. I'll catch you in the next one.